What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. Today, we're going to round out our potential first-round quarterback draft picks with Utah State quarterback Jordan Love. Before we get started, I just wanted to mention that I have done scouting reports on Joe Burrow, Tua Tagovailoa, and Justin Herbert. If you have any interest in these videos, there'll be a card at the top of the screen, or if you go to the channel, go under playlists, there'll be a full playlist of all the scouting reports I've done so far. Alrighty, let's hop into some Jordan Love film. Jordan Love is going to be this year's first round quarterback wildcard. We've seen him in the past with Lamar Jackson barely being a first rounder and Patrick Mahomes being a late first rounder, and those two seem to work out pretty well. I've seen Love ranked as high as 3 and as low as 5 and 6 on draft boards. He's not going anywhere very consistently, and Chris Sims, former NFL quarterback, now NBC affiliate, has him ranked above Tua. I just think that's insane. No one has ever said that, and he's going out on a limb and saying, I think Jordan Love has the potential. I think it's pretty apparent that there's no set feeling on Jordan Love, which is kind of crazy to think because the NFL draft is less than a month away. He had a great showing at the NFL Combine, which really boosted his draft stock. He measured in at just under 6'4", 224 pounds, 32 5/8 arms, and 10.5-inch hands. Pretty big hands, I think the second largest in the class. What makes Jordan Love such a wild card is his inconsistency in stats from his junior year 2018 to his senior year 2019. In his junior season, he completed 64% of his throws for just over 3,500 yards, 32 touchdowns, 6 picks, and 7 rushing touchdowns. He led Utah State to an 11-2 record. Fast forward to this past season, he completed just under 62% of his throws, just over 3,400 yards, 20 touchdowns, 17 interceptions, 0 rushing touchdowns, and led Utah State to a 7-6 record. When a highly touted prospect goes from 32 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, down to 20 touchdowns, 17 interceptions, that raises a lot of red flags and a lot of eyes. When evaluating Jordan Love's film, it really boils down to 5 bullet points. Arm strength for starters. He's one of the most natural throwers in the draft. His arm reminds me a lot of Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes on scramble plays. It's a natural flick for him, which sometimes gets him in trouble, but it's easy. It's a natural flick. When his footwork is right, he can stick big throws in tight windows. When his footwork isn't right is when he gets in trouble. He's a good athlete, not great, but I wouldn't say he's a statue in the pocket. He can move around, run some read option, and make plays outside the pocket. For reference, I wouldn't say he's a better athlete than Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert. Love has shown the ability to make some big plays in some very key moments, especially against LSU where he did struggle in the game, but he did make some big plays against great competition. Jordan Love has shown the ability to put touch on his passes and not just throw the fastball. I think that's where Justin Herbert gets in trouble, where he tries to throw the fastball because his arm's so big and he lacks some touch. I think Jordan Love has the ability to throw touch and throw the fastball if need be. Jordan Love is a pretty raw prospect. He's going to be a project in the NFL. He's not going to be a day one starter. So when you look at his weaknesses, there's a lot to check mark. Inconsistent footwork for me is the biggest one, which obviously inconsistent footwork leads to inconsistent accuracy. Inconsistent downfield accuracy, especially. I think that's where he's probably the worst accuracy wise. He needs to improve decision making too. In a lot of games, he gets away with not throwing interceptions because sure, he's playing Fresno State. That's not very good, but he gets in some bad situations pretty quickly. Another big issue for me was the offense at Utah State was very, very basic. It was a lot of screen passes, bubble screens, check downs, 5-yard little hitch routes, and that's not what a first rounder does. That doesn't make a first round quarterback. And I'll show you clips later of it, but there's a lot of plays where you're like, so you're telling me it looks like there was one read on this play to the 5-yard stick route or the guy on the flats? Like, where were these plays going? And that's not good for a first round pick. That doesn't help show off his great arm. I watched every throw that he made in the 2018 Boise State game. He finished the game 29 for 47, 363 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. In this game, he threw 12 passes that were screens, whether they were bubble screens, running back screens, wide receiver screens, RPO screens. He threw 12 of them. And he also attempted another 17 passes that only traveled 5 yards in the air or fewer past the line of scrimmage. Combined, he threw 29 passes that traveled 5 yards or less through the air. If you add up every throw that went 5 yards past the line of scrimmage, he finished the game 7 for 18. You can't do that with a first round pick. That's not what I want in my first round pick. My last big issue with Jordan Love is against good competition, he struggled. I'll list the games above because I believe there's 9 different games that I really considered being good talent or, good competition. He struggled in those games. He went 2-7. I counted every throw from every game, calculated it up, and he finished 60% of his throws were completed, which isn't too bad. 2,400 yards, 16 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, 2-7 win-loss. It is Utah State, I will say that, but you should be able to beat teams, which I counted, like Wake Forest, Nevada. Air Force is pretty good, but are they really that good? Kent State made their first bowl game in like 100 years and won against Utah State. First round pick Jordan Love couldn't beat Kent State. I'm just saying, these are games where first rounders, they win. They go out and they win these big games. I need my first round pick, my franchise quarterback, to overcome not having a great team at Utah State. I need him to make big throws in big games and big spots. And apparently Jordan Love can't do that consistently. First, I want to show you some strong throws from Jordan Love. Here, against LSU, only down 7-3, so it's still a competitive game. Jordan Love drops back, has great footwork and drives through the ball, and delivers a perfect throw. If 87 didn't drop this pass, it probably would have been a touchdown, or at least he would have been really close to the end zone. So real quick, I just wanted to mention that the Nevada game film that I originally got looked really dark, looked like this. So that's why the clip is so bright. I decided to turn it up because it's obviously better to be able to see it than it be really dark out. So that's why the clips look so bright. Alrighty, back to the video. On this play here, you're going to see Jordan Love drop back and wait for number 87 to break down his defender and get open for the touchdown. It's not an amazing throw, but what it shows is when Jordan Love has his feet set after the play action, look at that shuffle and straight into a throw. It was great timing and great power on the throw. Here's another powerful throw from Love. He drops back and finds his man up the seam for a pretty good completion in a tight window with 3 defenders in the area. This is a perfect pass from Love. If he puts air under this pass, the backside safety might have had a chance to make a play on the ball. If this ball leads towards the middle of the field, that midfield safety could have came over and made a play on the ball. On this play, look at the power and the accuracy on this pass. Love throws it to his outside receiver along the sideline and leads him out of bounds to only a place his receiver can get the ball. That's pretty good ball placement. On this play, look at how Love starts his read on the right side of the field, then makes his progression to the middle, and then his progression to the left side of the field while staying tall in the pocket. He then finds a receiver for the first down, probably his second or third read on that play. For this next set of plays, I'm not going to break down each individual play all the way down. We're just going to do a quick little overview for time's sake, but look at these throws. I mean, when he has his feet right, look at that lob on that pass. If he throws that pass, with too much arc, he could underthrow the receiver, or it could go out of bounds, or that safety can come over and make a play. On these plays, just look at the touch that Love throws on these passes. He steps up in the pocket, which I love to see, and he just flicks it. It's just a natural flick into the back of the end zone. The throw could have been a little bit farther, but still, all in all, a good pass. I don't love the footwork from Love on this play, but it shows that he can throw off platform with touch and accuracy at times. Justin Herbert doesn't make this throw. Justin Herbert has to throw this ball 100 miles an hour down the middle, where Love can throw it a little bit off balance and put a little touch on the ball. With 30 seconds left in the game, down 3, Jordan Love sticks this throw to put his team within field goal range, and of course number 87 drops it. He does get smacked on this play, but I don't think that's all Jordan Love's fault, because if he catches this ball, he's going to be able to fall down on it. Here's another great throw from Love. He's going to drop back, and he's going to find his man in the back of the end zone on the goal line fade. Love does a great job of getting this ball high to where only his receiver can get it. I mean, look how high his receiver is jumping to get this. It's initially ruled out of bounds, but then after further review, the receiver actually does get a foot in and make a great catch. Now let's look at a couple deep passes from Jordan Love. This play is a little bit spotty on the camera work because he caught LSU sleeping on defense, but completes a deep throw against LSU. On this next pass against Nevada, Love delivers a deep throw down the middle that falls incomplete. Initially, I thought this was a bad pass from Love, but looking at it again from a different angle, it seems that the receiver doesn't have a lot of separation from the corner, so throwing this farther downfield wouldn't gain much separation. So he threw it off to the right to where the receiver had to make a diving catch, and of course he drops it, but I think it's a good accurate pass from Love. Here's another great throw by Love. He draws back and he finds his man down the left sideline, throws it over the safety standing there, which seems like it was going to be a bad throw, but gets it over the safety. Unfortunately, and big shocker, it's another drop. This next throw is just going to show off how big Jordan Love's arm is. He draws back and launches it from about his 35 to the opposite 10-yard line. Opposite 10, that's about 55-yard throw. And if you're going to look here, look at all this open space to where I would have liked to see him move up in the pocket and maybe get a little crow hop or a little, shuffle upward to get more strength on his ball. He could have easily thrown that into the end zone if he got a little bit more momentum going towards the pass. Let's move on to what I think Jordan Love's biggest flaw is as a prospect. That would be his footwork. It's not that his footwork is bad, it's just very inconsistent pretty often. You'll see on this pass here, Jordan Love pumps right and looks back left to his running back going out of the flat. He does like a jump pass instead of just planting his feet and throwing, and sails a wide open throw. This throw here, he was getting pressured pretty quick, so he didn't have a lot of time to plant his feet and throw, but I've just seen this off balance throw get picked off for a 90-yard pick six so many times in the NFL. On this play, Jordan Love does another off balance jump pass. And instead of running out of the pocket, extending the play on 3rd and 8, he gets pressure and he just throws it over the middle and sails the ball up high. In the NFL, if a ball over the middle gets sailed, this is going to be an interception. Once again, here's another jump throw from Love. He draws back and instead of planting his feet and throwing an accurate pass, it's behind the receiver, and this doesn't allow the receiver to catch the ball in stride and try to make a play for the first down. This pass from Love has a few things wrong with it. For starters, his footwork is terrible. Look where he ends up on this throw. He's fading on the pass, and instead of following through with the ball, he just flicks it. This leads the ball to hang in the air and not have enough distance on the pass, enough power. This ball needs to be placed on the outside shoulder of the receiver near the sideline or at least the back pylon. Here are 2 out routes that fall short of the first down marker. Love needs to do a better job at dropping back and pushing his momentum through the ball into the receiver. He's just flicking it and fading away on the throws, which causes them to be short or even just fall incomplete. Here are another 2 throws to where Love just has to make this throw and he doesn't. The first one's an easy bubble screen and he sails it, and the second one is a little, in motion flare pass to the running back and he throws it high. You just gotta stick these throws. They're not hard throws. His lack of, footwork, he lobs it, he does that flick and it just goes over the receiver's heads. Now, let me show you some plays where Jordan Love's decision making is the best. On this play here, the score is 24-21, they are down 3, but if Wake Forest makes this interception, they're automatically in field goal range. There's still 8 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. You don't have to force this pass. I don't really know what Jordan Love saw here. The linebacker doesn't fake a blitz. He really just, drops back into coverage once the ball snapped and is in good position to pick off the ball. Here's another bad decision from Jordan Love. He's pressured, he gets out of the pocket, and he just throws another interception. He doesn't see the corner sticking with the underneath route. Utah State's only down 3. It's 1st and 10 with 20 seconds left. He could have thrown this out of bounds and just started over next play. Not to mention that Utah State's kicker, Dominic Eberle, I believe is how you pronounce it, he finished the year 21 for 24 on field goals, so he's actually a good kicker and might be an NFL kicker, so you just need to get a couple yards to get him within his range. Jordan Love might have been in effort territory here, being down 35-6 against LSU, but he throws another interception. The receiver's just not open. You'll see he's not open pretty much the whole entire time, and if you want to throw him open, you have to throw it towards the sideline and lead the receiver, but there's another corner guarding another receiver. And here, look at his footwork. His feet aren't even facing the receiver. When it comes down to footwork, you can think about where he wants to, aim his feet and his body at as you're throwing to a number on the clock. So think about a clock. The receiver right now is at about 1. You maybe want the ball to go more 2 to 3 range. If that's the case, Jordan Love's feet and body are pointing towards 12 straight ahead, and he's trying to use his arm to guide the ball towards the sideline, and that just doesn't work. You have to aim your body towards the person you're trying to throw to. These are just basic mechanics that you learn playing baseball. I learned playing baseball when I was 6 years old. Now, I want to defend Jordan Love a little bit here because I feel like I've been dogging on him a lot about his decision making and, his accuracy and everything else, where I do feel bad because Utah State's offense was super basic. Remember what I said earlier about Jordan Love's performance in the Boise State game. They threw the ball 29 times, 5 yards or less past the line of scrimmage, 29 times. So, when they decide to throw 5 to 10 little stick routes, it gets predictable after a while. In this corner, he doesn't even hesitate. He knows it's coming and he jumps the route. On this next play, where was he supposed to go with the ball? He dumps it down and it is a bad pass. It's inside so the linebacker can come and jump it, but look at the routes I drew out. You don't have enough time to get the guys coming on the in routes. The little stick route, they've ran it 20 times this game so far, and you probably want that wheel route to be open, but there's not enough time. So Jordan Love really has nowhere to go, and when he throws this, that linebacker is guarding 2 to 3 different routes because there's 3 receivers in that little area. It's just not a great play call. There's not enough spacing. Here's another play that it annoyed me watching it. You have trips off to his left and they all run the same slant. They're barely even running also. I get it's San Jose State, who's not very good, and you're ranked, but what if that slant that he throws to wasn't open? Where are you going to go with this ball? You run 3 slants. That makes no sense. You run basically 4 slants and 1 running back going out into the flat. It just doesn't make sense. It's not a good play call. I don't know what this design is. And finally, let's talk about Jordan Love's athleticism. He's not a great athlete, but he's not a bad athlete either. Like I said earlier in the video, he's not as good as an athlete as Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert, but he can still hold his own. He's not gonna, run for a ton of yards, and he's not gonna make a lot of men miss. You even see in some of these plays where he's a sitting duck when he's in open field. This play right here, I'm pretty sure he gets smacked. So he doesn't make a lot of men miss, but what he can do is he can get you a read option in the red zone or take a direct snap, and he can get you into the end zone. It just has to be pretty much blocked, and it can't be, super far out. And he's able to get outside the pocket, which I like, and make good throws. He also does a great job at escaping inside the pocket and running around and making plays downfield, or, getting some extra yards from when a play breaks down. And you see on some of these plays, when he gets outside of the pocket, he can make big throws in big situations. This pass against LSU, that's a great pass. That's a beautiful pass and against great competition. This throw against Wake Forest, they're down 3 trying to drive before he throws that interception. That's a great throw. He throws it high and away from everyone else on the run. These are just great plays to where, you can put him on rollouts, on purposely put him, get him outside the pocket, get his momentum going towards the sideline and hit comebacks or crossers. I think that's where he's going to flourish a little bit in the NFL if he can get his footwork right. When I give my scouting reports on players, I like to give them an NFL comparison or an NFL comp. And for Jordan Love, it was really, really tough because there's not this many, bad decision makers in the NFL, and there's not really that many people that kind of throw the ball like he does with that flick. So I had to go back a while, and the other comps that I've seen, which I don't really agree with a lot of them, Colin Kaepernick for one, I don't think that makes really a lot of sense because Colin Kaepernick is one of the best probably, runners as a quarterback, one of the best athletes at quarterback, and Jordan Love just simply isn't that. Blake Bortles is another one that I've seen, and I actually like that comparison a lot. Not a great decision maker Blake Bortles has been in his career, but a pretty good athlete, not amazing, but has seasons with 300, 400 rushing yards and has a pretty big arm. Inaccurate at times, but, has had some good games in his career. My NFL comparison is going to be a combination of 2 players. So for his passing, this is a weird one, but Vince Young. Vince Young was the quarterback that didn't have great form, didn't have a great technique, really did that flick. He had that, I have a big arm, and I'm just going to flick it and not really use a lot of my body at times, and I'm just going to flick it. But I don't really mean for the athleticism, because Vince Young is another one of those guys that was a great runner in the NFL, where I don't think Jordan Love's going to be like that. I think Jordan Love has more of the rushing like Dak Prescott. So for passing, I think it's more of a Vince Young. He has that flick and that inaccuracy at times. But for his athleticism, I think he's more Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott's never really been a guy that makes a lot of guys miss, but he's able to get outside the pocket, and he's dangerous on read options inside the red zone. In Dak's career, he hasn't ran for a ton of yards, with 2 seasons over 300 yards, but what makes him dangerous, like I said, is his ability to run in the red zone. Dak Prescott has 3 seasons with 6 touchdowns. That's a pretty good weapon in the red zone. From seeing Jordan Love's tape and his athletic ability, I don't see why he can't do the same thing. Alright, and that's it. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. You know, my Joe Burrow scouting video has over 200 views, which isn't a ton, but it's a lot more than what I honestly expected, so I want to thank you guys a lot. If you guys liked this video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Also, comment down below or tweet at me at @EvankTheTank. It'll be in the description. Let me know if you think Jordan Love should be a first-round quarterback. I tend to think no, but maybe you guys disagree. Once again, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.